This to this within the first hour of playing Minecraft. So when you've spawned in, one of the first things you want to do is check your surroundings. Now our first goal is actually to get wood. Luckily for us, there's a tree over here, so I'm going to head over here and get some wood. So I'm just going to break the wood with my fists and just keep going until you've got 5 or 6 logs. The next step is to turn these logs into oak planks. So use E to open up the interface, turn those logs into planks, and then you want to create a crafting table with them planks. But you want to do it in the formation just like I've done it. So you can craft the crafting table, and then you can also make sticks out of this as well. And then we're going to go ahead and make a wooden pickaxe. Luckily for me, I've found some surface stone right here next to spawn. If you can't see any in your vicinity, just dig straight down, probably about 3 blocks, and you should hit stone. And all we're going to do is we're going to mine 3 stone blocks. This way we'll have 3 cobblestone, and then we can instantly make a stone pickaxe. Once you've got your stone pickaxe, you want to get back to mining because we're going to need 17 cobblestone. And the reason we're collecting 17 cobblestone is because this is enough for 1 furnace and all the other stone tools that we would require. So go ahead and make a furnace, make yourself an axe, make yourself a shovel, and make yourself a sword. The next thing we want to do is we want to have enough wool to make a bed, so we need to go and find some sheep. Luckily for us, there's some over here, and it's good to make a bed because it's going to allow us to skip the first night. But also, we can gather some meat whilst doing this. I would also recommend using your axe to kill the sheep, as if you critical hit them, you can kill them in 1 hit. Now, the way to critical hit them is to jump, and then on the way down, as your body is falling, hit them, and then you'll get a critical hit, and you'll be able to kill them in 1 hit. Now that we've got an axe, if there's any more trees around, you can start cutting them down, just so we've got a little bit more wood. And luckily for us, in this big stone area right here, there's loads of coal hanging about. So this is going to help us out massively, as it's going to allow us to make torches later on, and also give us some fuel so we can cook our meat. So what you can do is gather a few pieces of coal, get your meat cooking, and then whilst it's cooking, instead of hanging around, you can mine the rest of the coal. So it's all about being productive and efficient. So unfortunately, we still haven't got enough wool, so we're going to go and find some sheep and kill them. Luckily for us, I haven't had to go too far to find some sheep. And if there's loads of animals around, don't hesitate to kill them, as at the end of the day, it's just extra food for us. Whilst running around from place to place as well, if there's any grass, you can hit the grass and collect some seeds whilst you're running. We can then use these seeds later on to grow some wheat, which is going to be another food source for us if we need it. So once again, it's all about being productive. So we can make our bed, we've got coal, we've got food. Our next step is to gather some iron. Now because of the 1.19 update, iron actually spawns either really high up or really low down. So one thing I'd recommend doing if you're trying to find iron is head up to a high place. So if there's any mountains nearby, just head up to the top of the mountains and try and find a cave at the top of the mountains, because you'll more than likely find iron there. Once again, if there's any animals on the way, feel free to kill them as you're passing. I did actually end up finding a ravine out of the corner of my eye, so I did actually end up going over to it, as because with all the exposed stone, sometimes it's really easy to find materials like iron. So I went over and had a quick look. Unfortunately though, it wasn't too great of a cave, so I didn't want to waste too much time in here, so I wanted to head back up into the mountains. Within a minute of being up in the mountains, I found a nice cave. To be honest, I was confident this would be a dead end, but it turned out to be a pretty good cave in the end. So you want to head down here. I like to have torches in my offhand and then my axe in my main hand, so I can fight mobs and light up the area at the same time. And I came across my first hostile mob, which was this creeper. Now you can either fight these mobs properly, or you can just get them to explode, which is what I did, because we don't actually really need gunpowder in the early game. And just like that, we found our first batch of iron. So mine that iron, and then once again, it's all about being productive. So we want to get our furnace down and get the iron smelted, and because it's going to take a couple of minutes to smelt, we've now got a full cave to explore, so we're always doing something. If there's coal about, collect more coal. Also, when you're in the caves, make sure you check all the angles of where hostile mobs could come and block them off, or ensure they're sufficiently lit up. So although we're in a cave, it's probably about night time, so we can make our bed and sleep. And there we go, we've survived our first night, and we're well on our way to getting iron armor, all within the first 10 minutes. So just scout the cave for even more iron. Once we've got some iron smelted, probably the first thing you're going to want to do is make a shield, because I would argue a shield is more powerful than iron armor, as it literally allows us to block damage from any mob. So I like to have my weapon in my main hand and then my shield in my offhand, so I can attack and defend all in one go. We're going to need an iron pickaxe for when we find some diamonds, and of course make sure all your food's cooked, make some torches for the caves. We can go ahead and start exploring and fighting the mobs in the caves. Unfortunately, this cave actually came to a dead end, but I could hear skeletons off in the distance. So you want to turn your headphones up and you want to listen and dig in the direction of the mobs. boats, because this means there could be another cave right next to your cave, which of course means more resources for you. And our main goal right now is to get more iron for iron armor, and then eventually find diamonds. And just like that, I was right, there's a cave right here with skeletons inside. So before venturing in there, make sure you collect your crafting tables and your furnaces, and then we can get to mining. When in a situation with multiple mobs and a creeper, what you can do is actually get the creeper to explode so that it doesn't take any damage from you, but also actually kills all the other hostile mobs. Once again, being efficient, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I then actually came across the Lush Cave, which is good because these tend to open up into quite big caves. And I'd say our main goal right now is to get even further down, because all the resources we need are going to be deeper down in the caves. And just like that, the cave opened up into a huge area. It was pretty dark and filled with mobs, so I made sure to be extra careful, taking them out one by one and mining all the iron we could find. Once again, we're being efficient. We're getting our furnaces down, smelting even more iron, and also killing mobs at the same time and exploring the cave. Because I accumulated enough iron now, I can also make my first piece of iron armor. And as we collect more iron, we're just going to make more iron armor. So after we took all the resources we need out of this cave, I realised it was actually a dead end. So what do we do in this situation? Now we've got 2 options. We can either A, turn back up the cave we've just come and then try and find another cave, but I know there's probably not going to be another cave nearby, as I've followed this cave all the way down here and it's led to a dead end. Or we could actually mine straight down. Now I'm sure you've heard the term don't ever mine straight down in Minecraft. Well, that's true to a certain degree. You see, if you use this method where you stand in the middle of 2 different blocks, you can safely descend without falling to your death. So that's exactly what I'm going to do until I get deep enough or find a cave. But eventually I got deep enough and landed in this big cave. Luckily, because I was doing my digging down method, we didn't fall into the cave and we're still alive. So when you're in a position like this and you want to drop down without taking any damage, if you haven't got a bucket of water, one thing that you can actually do is craft a boat, and then you can float down in the boat without taking any damage at all. But of course, just be careful of your surroundings. This moved into a nice sized cave, and I